Hey guys.
Blah, blah, blah. Good morning.
Alright, so it's Sunday.
It is.
Our usual Sunday morning coffee. Yeti mug.
Tim Hortons mug.
Drift cars. Today's episode of Sunday Morning Coffee is going to be on drift cars. Since summer is right around the corner, everybody's kind of gearing up. This is going to be the first series in this or that, we'll call it.
This or that.
This or that.
That's what we're calling now. Like
this
that.
or that.
This.
And then we're also going to most likely be doing this or that with a Max and a Haas.
Yes.
Because, like I said, summer's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're going to do a this or that on Traxxas versus DR10 drag cars.
Oh, that, yeah.
Because, as we found out, there is a lot of gearing up going on this year towards drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to stick Viper RC's name in that category.
We should also shout out to the group that we're going to be hanging with.
Muskoka Outlaws.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yes.
So if anybody wants to get involved in the Simcoe area.
Yes, that is for the Simcoe. Now, speaking for Ontario, Niagara Speed Hunters and I think it's Niagara Outlaws. They're gearing up heavy. If you remember from last year, there was some cash days that had really decent prizes. So we're hoping to jump in on that. But that is not the topic for today, guys.
Nope.
The topic for today is drift cars.
Yes.
These things, for people who don't have the mobility. So what I mean by that is, you crawling. You're out there for 3-4 hours, walking through trails, bushes, that kind of thing. Bashing, you could find yourself running around, chasing trucks, finding new spots.
Flipping them over, flipping them back over.
Drag racing is not bad. You just stand there and pull the trigger, rock back to your car, set it up again. Drifting is great. It's one of those things where you go to a pavilion, find a nice flat surface, post your butt up, and 9 times out of 10 you never have to get up from there and could drift all day long.
It actually, that's how we kind of started, because I ended up with foot injury in both feet, and we had to find something that was fun for me to do that wasn't basher related.
Yeah, because when it come to bashing, it just meant I did double the running.
Yes.
But, so, like I said, we're talking drift cars today. And, she's already shaking her body.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of complicated over here. Nice magnets, obviously. Best way to do a drift car.
Yeah, mine too, magnets.
Start off with the bodies before we get into the cars. So mine is an ABC or APC. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it is a Datsun 620. Again, most of the paint jobs are done by me. Drag cars up there, crawler here, that guy there, all done by me. The initial was done by me on this.
And then I just had fun.
Yeah.
I personalized it.
But as you can see here, like I did a kind of a snakeskin pattern up here. This is actually not a sticker. This is painted in. These two are stickers. But everything else is, yeah, not a bad job.
It's a nice body. Mine is clearly a Pandora.
Yep.
So it came in all little pieces, had to put it all together. It's basically a tribute car to my son's car.
All right, so now that we get into the meat and potatoes, unfortunately I'm missing the meat. Literally. completely missing the meat.
You got one little tiny piece right there.
No, that's like your veggies.
Yeah, okay. Dessert?
Oh, it could be. That thing is pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so now that we got the bodies off and we've got the cars out, you can already see differences between the two immensely. This here is an MST RMX 2.0. 2.0 means it's got full ball bearings in the rear. All your links are adjustable, not just preset. You can actually fine tune them. With this one, like I said, the only thing in here right now is the servo, but I do have the sway bar in the rear, which it really does help. This car is also like most of your RC cars with an independent front suspension on it, with a regular setup, and it does have 2 motor positions. Most of my weight's kind of nice in the rear, and it's got the nice battery tray. Now we move on to hers.
Mine's Sakura D5, and it is not the same chassis at all. Like mine's super slim, which the downfall of that can be that you have to get the super battery. What do you call that? The small
saddle packs.
Is that what they're called?
Yes, saddle packs.
So I had to rig this up so that it would actually hold my battery, which can sometimes shift a little bit, causing me a little bit of issues. So I do need to get the battery for it. I do have all my electronics here, and I'm running a censored system.
Looks to me like the Quick Run 10BL120 and SMC 6.5 turn motor.
And as you can see, it actually sits on the back. It's mounted back here, which is a huge difference from that one. The other difference that's really big on this is where my suspension sits. I have the horizontal. So.
Yeah,
and I've upgraded my shocks on these.
So it is like a cantilever suspension system in this one, which is a little bit different. I can't really say which one is better than the other, because they're both gonna do the job.
Yeah.
I know you can get active suspension for this one, which allows, so when you push down, if you look from the front, you can actually see my tires moving this way when I push the suspension. Very slightly. Mm-hmm. But with active suspension, it takes that out. Now, I'm not sure if they make an active suspension for this style. Be interesting to find out, though.
Yeah.
That it is a good thing. Like even in the rear, your stuff tends to want to move in or out. So if you can eliminate that. The other big thing between both of these that I want to point out and stress out. So motor for mine can either sit down below here or up here. With hers, there's no option, and it's right off the rear end, so you have to be careful and mindful of the body you get. If you've got one with a short rear end, it's not going to work.
Doesn't work.
Truck body would work.
Mm-hmm. Even mine is really pushing it on there.
But
Bert had to cut his out because I have the extra piece on the back, whereas he didn't. So he had to cut this out in order to make the motor fit. Now,
with both of these models, you're going to run into issues with certain bodies. I know with this setup, I cannot have the high rise motor. Truck bed's going to get in the way. But I kind of like the control aspect better.
Yeah.
Like when it's down low, you get a lot more control. When it's up high, it tends to want to throw your vehicle. Mm-hmm. For me, I like it down low anyway. And that's half the reason I went with a truck body.
So we kind of talked about this before, was like the MST versus Sakura price point for one thing. Mine's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. So we had gotten this back when it first came out, and it was 160 or 180, something along those lines.
Yeah, it wasn't
So
too much.
realistically, if you're just starting to get into drifting, it's not a bad option. But I want to stress this: 180, 300. The simplicity of this is great for beginners. Very good for beginners. My suggestion personally, spend the extra 120 and get yourself something like this, where it's very easy to work on, very simple to set up, and it drives amazing. Now, that being said, I'm not saying this doesn't drive amazing. It's just got a few more things to it that can throw off a beginner. The weight in the rear.
I almost disagree with you on that, because I think as a beginner, I got to build the kit. So it made me learn a lot more about it.
I agree. And I will stress that the $300 price point for this is a kit. So you have to build it as well. So you will
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you will know this vehicle inside and out as well.
I don't know. I've driven yours. Can't drive it. I've driven mine. I can drift it.
That can be a lot of setup wise too, though.
Yeah. I think it comes down to personal preference too.
Absolutely. I mean,
is one really better than the other, or is it personal preference?
A little bit of both, I'm going to have to say on that one.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is you got a lot more weight up in the front end here, hangs off the rear here,
That's
no
true.
options for body. So it does come down to a little bit of personal as well.
Yeah.
You know, how much adjustments do you want to do? How much adjustments do you feel you think you'd need? That kind of thing. Whereas this one, you get it. The only thing you can really set up is your suspension. That's about it.
Like I watch you, I'm sure we have video to throw up here, is like that thing, you can make that crab walk all day long. Like I just watch you take those tight corners, and it's so smooth to watch. And I'm going to have to go with operator error, because then you can hop in mine and do almost the exact same thing.
But you said the key word there, almost.
Almost.
So it comes back to that control factor where my motor's down low, all my weight's down low, sitting more central in the vehicle gives me more control. So when I come to those tight corners, I can throw it in there and I can control that throw. This one here almost automatically throws me into the throw. So I have to control what the car's doing, whereas with this one, I'm in full control. The car has no control at that point. It's all me.
I think the other difference too, and we talked about that one time, was that I am strictly bashing. I never have done crawling. Whereas for you, you had more throttle control because of the crawling. Whereas being a basher, I was like,
absolutely. Anybody who is a basher or racer is going to have a bit more of a hard time with drifting. Just simply because, like, when you're crawling and you're going up an incline, you need to sit at that 20% just so that your wheels are gripping and not spinning and coming back down. Hopping into a drift car, it was kind of the same thing, where you sit at that 30% and I can have my car going sideways the whole time. And and your steering's almost the same. You have to go at that 20-30% until you kick it. And then when you kick it and you hit that throttle, it's going to push it out farther. So you need to do the steering at the same time, so your car now goes faster in that drift, but you still have that control.
Yeah, so it was a little bit harder for me to adjust coming from just straight bashing.
Absolutely.
But no, I think I did pretty good with this. And I wouldn't trade it, and I don't regret it in any way or wish I would have got a different one because I love this car. I love this setup.
Oh, I fully agree with you on that with mine.
Yeah.
I also got mine 2 months before the rest of you guys, so I was drifting like crazy already, and
we were drifting TTO2s.
Yeah, trying to keep up in the tight corners with me, and
it's all about the tires.
Yeah, that is the other thing. There is such a range of tires for different surfaces that realistically, when you're out there and you're looking for them, make sure you know what surface you're going to ride on first.
For sure.
Because if you put on, say, concrete tires or carpet tires, for example, on asphalt, you're going to have none left in a week.
Yeah. It's just not.
And then the opposite of that is if you got asphalt tires on there and you're running it on carpet, you got no traction.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're all thinking, it's a drift car, you're not supposed to have... Drift cars need traction. That's how they drift. Like, I hear so many people going, oh boy, all you're doing is sliding around. No, you need the control there, which means you have to have some form of traction. So, like I said, the flip side of that, if you've got, asphalt tires on carpet, you're not going to get any traction. You're probably not even going to really move all that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, tires make a huge difference in these.
For sure.
Again, with some upgrades. The only thing I really changed on this for upgrades was that sway bar that I mentioned earlier. But I also have upgraded shocks on here so that they are... We got them off of Trackstar set, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's a nice set, actually. I'll show a picture of that.
Yeah, because it was a really nice set. We were both able to grab some... I think I grabbed the stiffest ones for mine because they still seemed loose. Yeah. Which was perfect because the car responded to it great. I do believe you did the same. Except you went more color.
I did. I kind of based it off color, but it worked out. It worked out.
And I do believe she's got the original rear shocks in there.
Yeah, these are still the originals back here. I didn't touch those.
So.
But holy, she's dirty, eh? She needs to clean it.
Yeah. We need to do some work. I'm looking at my servo. Look at this. I got a little bit of play in there too. I gotta shim some stuff and get it back to performing the way it needs to.
So, what gyro do you run in yours when you have
on a Sinky.
On a Sinky.
Yes.
Not one ski.
Not one ski, on a Sinky.
See, I got the Yokomo, and I had the other one that was
Rev D.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. I could not get that thing to set properly. So I ended up putting back in the Yokomo, but I was disappointed because, again, color matters. And it was purple. So that was disappointing because it would have matched really nice.
I'm sitting here shaking my head going, color matters.
Yeah, it does. Look at everything's red. So color matters.
It was even at one point that I had a red motor in here.
Yeah.
My ESC was this one here, which is black and red with the quick runs. Yeah, color does matter somewhat.
Color matters.
These guys can honestly expect to see these out again this summer. Anyway, guys, this...
Sorry. I'm allergic to snow.
Apparently. Allergic to winter around here. So, this has been another episode of Sunday Morning Coffee. And like I said, we've got a few more episodes in mind coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Seeing as the weather's starting to turn, it's starting to get some nicer days, a little bit into the pluses.
I'm pretty excited about the Haas versus Max. I think that's going to be a fun matchup.
It is, but again, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, and I hate to say it, but my truck's better.
Yeah, I think we're all going to agree on one aspect of that, but that's another episode.
That it is. All right, guys. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.